Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to Tutlo TV this afternoon. Good to see all the familiar faces online again, and welcome to all the newbies. If this is your first Tutlo TV webinar session, welcome this afternoon. So let's quickly do our introductions. I'm sure the guys that log on regularly, you guys are familiar with our introduction already. But just for the newbies, for all the new guys, if you are experiencing any type of technical problem, so if you have problem hearing or seeing me, just drop us a message. If you guys can let me know that everything's okay, you can drop me an okay as well. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send them through. I'll try my best to answer them for you, and have fun. This is again going to be quite an interactive session, so I want you guys to join in, have fun, and send through your answers. Take a guess, and we'll see what the correct answers are. Then, for those who haven't met me yet, I'm teacher Rudel from South Africa, and today we're going to look at an intermediate general English topic. So our topic for today is global issues. So this is quite a relevant topic. We're going to talk about global issues. We're going to talk about global problems. So problems all around the world that we're currently experiencing. So let's quickly have a look. Let's get started and have a look. What are we going to look at today? So today we're going to look at some vocabulary. So we're going to learn some new words related to global issues or global problems. And then we're going to learn a little bit about orcas through a read and listen exercise. So we're going to learn all about orcas, what orcas are, and we're going to learn through a read and listen fun exercise. So let's start with our vocabulary related to global issues. So our first word is endangered species. I want to see if you guys can guess from the picture, what is an endangered species? So can you guess what is the definition of an endangered species? So what is an endangered species? I want to see if you guys can guess this one. So you can just drop the number 1 and then maybe give a short explanation. What do you think is an endangered species? When should we say issues? Okay, Derek's got a question. Says, when should we say issues and when should we say problem? So when you say, you could say, I'm experiencing problem, or I'm experiencing a problem connecting to a phone call, but you won't particularly use sort of a synonym to say, I'm experiencing an issue connecting. Both would be correct, Jarek. So you can use both in different types of sentences. They sort of almost synonyms. So you can use both issues or problem. An issue is a factor that might cause you some annoyance, though. So say, for example, you are irritated by something. That's when you have an issue. So if something irritates you, or if there's something that might make you feel uncomfortable, that is an issue. Where a problem can impact on a people or a situation around you. So, for example, you could say forgetting your lunch is an issue. So if you forgot your lunch, it's an issue. But losing your job is a problem. So a problem is maybe a slightly stronger version than issue. Okay, thanks so much for sending through that question. Okay, then Ivana says endangered species, it's species where the numbers are very small. Well done. So, endangered species, sometimes some of my students think an endangered species is a dangerous animal, where it's actually, like Ivona mentioned, it's where there's only a few of these animals left. Say, for example, rhinos or rhinoceros. I'm just going to take a guess. I'm not 100% sure how many are left of them. Say, for example, there's only 50 rhinos left in the world. So there's a whole bunch of different types of endangered species. And it basically means that there's only a few of them left in the world. So maybe from 10 to 200 or 1,000 left of a specific type of animal. Now, the reason we call them endangered is because if we don't care for them, if we don't try and get their numbers up again, they will become extinct animals. So, an extinct animal is when they don't exist anymore. So, once they are hunted or once they die out and there's no more animals left of this specific species, then you say the animals have become extinct or the species has become extinct. Our next word is population. Now, there's been a big growth in population in the last 50 years, which has also become quite a big problem. Now, population is the amount of people in a specific area. So we could talk about the world's population. So it's the amount of people in the world. We can talk about the population of a specific country, like, say, the population of Poland. And what it basically is just the amount of people or the amount of animals. You could even say the rhino population in South Africa has become very small, or the ostrich population, or the gorilla population in the forest has become very small. So it's the number of animals or the number of people in a specific area. And this is quite an interesting bit of a map here where you could see the different densities of populations around the world. So as you can see, it looks like sort of in the Asia area, um, there's quite a large population per square meter of kilometer square meter. Okay, the next word is pollution. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with pollution. Pollution is basically gases and all kinds of sort of negative or toxic smoke and smells and items that sort of gets pushed into the air. So, say for example, the gases from our motor vehicles can cause quite a lot of pollution. In the past, we had a problem with sort of spray cans that had CFCs in them, which also created pollution. And I think it's actually banned now because pollution leads to our next word that we're going to learn. I'm going to come back to these words, but I just want to connect the following words for you guys. Okay, so pollution can cause global warming. So, what is global warming? Global warming is the increase of the temperature worldwide. Now, global warming, when we talk about the increase of the temperature, it doesn't have to be a 1 or 2 or 3 degrees increase. Even a 0.001 degrees increase in temperature is considered as global warming. Now, why is it considered as global warming? Because an environment is so sensitive, because our nature or the environment is so sensitive, even a 0.02% or 0.02 degree increase in our environment, in the temperature in our environment, when it comes to global warming, can have a very big impact. Okay, so an environment is the state or the area where animals or people live. So that's what the environment is. And that's how it relates to global warming. But why is global warming such a hot topic? Why is it so important? Well, the 0.001 degree increase in our temperature in our environment is causing climate change. Now, this is also quite an important discussion point, climate change. Now, remember we spoke about the word environment. Now, our environment is, like I mentioned, very, very sensitive. So everything is very balanced. Everything is dependent on each other. And something as small as a 1 degree increase in our global temperature can cause massive climate change. So things change, like, for example, the temperature of the ocean can increase. And because of the increase in the temperature of the ocean, we might see more hurricanes or more sort of different types of natural disasters. For example, the forest fires that you currently get in Australia, which has become a big problem and a big natural disaster. This is probably caused by the initial global warming, which then led to climate change. So we could say maybe the climate in Australia has become more dry, more hot, and probably more windy as well. So when a forest fire starts, it spreads very quickly and can become a massive type of problem or a massive type of issue in a certain area. Now, in general, because of these small changes in our environment, because of climate change, it has a massive impact on our environment, such as the ice caps melting in the South Pole or the North Pole, which increases the cold water around that areas. So again, it changes the temperature in the surrounding waters. It increases the water levels of our oceans, and all of this relates to climate change. This is what we say is climate change, the changing of our general climate in the world. Okay, so let's quickly go back to our previous words that we skipped and have a look at some other global issues. Now, climate change can also lead to population hunger or starvation. So, for example, I read the other day that there's currently almost a big drought. Well, not a drought, but there's been very little water or very little rain this year in Thailand. So this leads to rice crops maybe not performing as good as it should, or any type of crops or growing vegetables where there hasn't been enough rain because of climate change, and this can lead to hunger or starvation, which is also quite a big global issue. Now, the other thing that might lead to starvation as well is the following word: poverty. Now, poverty is when there's a population that doesn't have enough money to take care of themselves. So, in other words, people live below what we call the breadline. So, say for example, let's talk in dollars. Say for example, a person needs, in general, in America, about $50 or $100 per month to be able to survive. That's just a thumb suck. I'm just guessing. If they live below, so if on a monthly basis they get less than $100, we say they live below the breadline. They don't have enough money to buy food or to buy clothing or to buy medical medication. Now, poverty is when it sits below that breadline, where people are starving. They might not be able to eat every day, or they don't have a balanced diet because they don't have enough money to buy food. And poverty generally comes from a situation where in a country people don't have enough jobs. And again, sometimes people don't have enough jobs because they don't have an education. So there's all these different types of global issues like lack of education, which leads to lack of jobs, which leads to poverty, which leads to starvation. So similar to the sensitivity of our environment, we could see that even our economy or our human population has quite a sensitive balance where everything depends on each other. Okay, so let's look at our next word. So our next word is quite an easy one, which is sort of a general word. It doesn't really relate too much to a global issue, but our next word is illegal. Now, when something is illegal, it's basically against the law. So against the law of that specific country. So say, for example, I think globally, it's against the law to drink alcohol and drive because you're not allowed to drink and drive. So that's when we say drinking and driving is illegal. Now, depending on the country or depending on the law, there's many things that's illegal. For instance, stealing is illegal, murdering is illegal. The next thing we're going to look at is also illegal. The next word, poaching. So, what is poaching? Poaching is the illegal killing or capturing of animals. Now, why is poaching such an important global issue word? Now, remember we had a look at our first word, which was endangered species. Now, in a lot of countries, endangered species, or in most countries, I would say, endangered species, it's against the law to hunt or kill an endangered species. So if we have people who maybe hunt rhinos, we don't call it hunting, we call it poaching because it's illegal to kill rhinos because they are endangered. So that's when we use the word poaching. But why do people poach? Well, let's use rhinos for example. There's apparently a big demand for rhino horns where some people believe that there's a very good medicinal value in their horns. So you have a lot of illegal poaching happening because people try to sort of kill rhinos to cut off their horns and sell them on the black market. Okay, so that's when you find that there's going to be poaching of animals. Okay, so that's our vocabulary for today. If you guys have any questions related to the vocabulary, please feel free to pop them through. You guys can pop them through at any time. And let's have a quick look at our next exercise. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read you a short passage, and then I want you to take note and listen very carefully, because I'm going to ask you some questions related to the reading afterwards. Okay, so I want you guys to have a look and listen very carefully. Take some notes if you want, and then I'll ask you some questions related to the passage afterwards. I'm just going to switch my camera off so I can see the full passage, but you'll still be able to hear me. Okay, if you guys are ready, I'm going to read the passage for you now. Orcas are the largest dolphins in the world. They are called whales because of their size. Males typically range from 6 to 8 meters long and weigh in excess of 6 tons. Females are smaller, generally ranging from 5 to 7 meters and weighing about 3 to 4 tons. Orcas have mostly black skin with white patches. They are found in all the world's oceans, from the cold of the Arctic to the tropical seas. They are really easy to identify because their white and black coloring. Orcas feed on fish, squid, birds, and marine mammals. In the wild, orcas live from 30 to 50 years. However, pollution and chemical waste make orcas more likely to get diseases, so the orca population is getting smaller. Okay, let's quickly have a look. So, who can tell me, number one, what is an orca? Who took note and had a look to see what is an orca? So, who had a careful listen and can tell me what is an orca? I'll just give you guys a few seconds quickly to type through your answers, send through your answers, and let's have a look. Don't be shy. This is not a big examination, so I want you guys to please feel free and take a guess. So we have one answer that says the largest dolphin. Ivona says a kind of dolphin. Sylvia says a dolphin. Okay, let's have a look at the answer. Okay, very good. So yeah, well done. You guys got that one right. So the largest dolphins in the world. Okay, well done. Glad you guys listened carefully. Okay, let's have a look at the next question. Where do orcas live? So where would you find them? Where's their environment? Where do orcas live? Who can tell me, where do orcas live? So where would you find an orca? Okay, we've got one answer that says in the sea. Do you guys agree? In the oceans? In the oceans all around the world? Says Ivona. Okay, let's have a look. So the answer, they are found in all the world's oceans. So well done, guys. So in all the oceans around the world. Okay, well done. Next questions. What do orcas eat? And I want to see if you guys can remember. There were a few answers. So there were a few different things they eat. I want to see if you can remember all of them. So what do orcas eat? So who can remember, what do orcas eat? Okay, Sylvia says small mammals, fish and birds. Do you guys agree? Fish and birds. And remember the plural for fish is fish. So one fish, uh, plenty of fish. So instead of fishes, we just say fish. Okay, let's have a look. So orcas feed on fish, squid, birds, and marine mammals. So well done. Let's see how many you guys got right. So you got most of them correct. So fish, squid, birds, and marine mammals. Ivana, well done for bringing the marine mammals in as well. Most of you guys got right the mammals, fish, Sylvia, well done. And remember that fish, the plural form of fish is fish instead of fishes. Okay, well done, guys. Okay, next question. How long do orcas live? Can you guys remember? How long do they live? How many years do orcas live? Let's see if you guys can remember. How many years do orcas live? 10 years? 100 years? Can you remember how many years do orcas live? Alicia says, we've got one answer that says 50 years. Lisa says 15 years. Ivana says 50 to 60 years. We've got up to 50 years. Let's have a look at the answer. Orcas live from 30 to 50 years. Well done, Kamal. Okay, 30 to 50 years or up to 50 years would also be correct. Well done. So anywhere between 30 and 50 years. Okay, well done to the guys who got that correct. Okay, so if you have any questions, that ends our Q&A session for, oh, sorry, that ends our reading and listening section for today. So I hope you guys learned a little bit more about our global issues or global problems that we might have, and learned something about new vocabulary related to global issues, and also learned a little bit about orcas as well. I'm going to quickly send through some additional links if you guys want to go have a little bit of a read on global issues. So I've just sent through the one link, and then I'm sending the Quizlet through as well, that you guys can go have an exercise with. And if you have any questions, please feel free to pop them through. But thanks so much. So what we learned about today was global issues, some vocabulary related to global issues, and we had a bit of a reading and listening exercise to learn more about orcas. Thank you so much again, everyone, for joining. It's almost weekend, and Christmas is around the corner. So if I don't see you guys before Christmas, Merry Christmas for everyone that's celebrating Christmas. And for everyone who's on leave, have a good break. And if you still want to join and follow us over the time that you celebrating with friends and family, you can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And if I could ask if you guys just quickly stay on for our 2 poll questions. I've just sent the first one through, which is, was the webinar useful, and did you learn some interesting things related to global issues? Okay, then our next poll question, thank you so much for answering that one. Our next one is, would you like to participate in a similar event in the near future? Okay, thank you so much for answering that. And have a great evening further. Thank you so much again, guys, for joining tonight. And as I said, have a wonderful Christmas and enjoy your holiday. Keep well, guys. Thank you so much. See you guys next year. Goodbye.